What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So this is kind of a follow-up to a video that I just did about the 135 division and people not being held accountable, for what they say and do. These fanboys are really pretty much just bringing nothing but nonsense to the table with all these ridiculous opinions and these conclusions that they draw without having any proof. So let me say something. In fact, you know what? Pause. Just take a listen to this.
A great fight. Obviously, we were both there. You got treated to your birthday at Madison Square Garden with that Lomachenko fight. He looked so good. And I mean, I was talking to someone earlier today about this. Oftentimes when a fighter has an excuse, like Lomachenko was talking about his shoulder injury, we in the Lopez fight, we sort of like scoffed at it originally. But boy, he looked so dynamic and so active in that Comey fight that there was a lot more willingness to accept what he said. I mean, there was something amiss with him in that Lopez fight. He was back to full tilt against Comey, and now there's a possibility that you take him to Australia against Kambosos. Where does that stand right now?
Well, we're talking to Lou and to Peter, and we're optimistic because we have real good contacts inside Australia. The COVID's in the way a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. And ESPN's ready to step up to the plate to get that fight done.
Seems like it's between you guys and Devin Haney as to who will be Kambosos' next opponent. Is there something that you know that favors Lomachenko in that pursuit?
Yeah, I think, truth be told, nobody knows who Devin Haney is in Australia. I mean, really, he hasn't had any exposure. Everybody who knows it follows boxing around the world, including Australia, knows Lomachenko.
Bullshit.
So Lomachenko is a much bigger match in Australia than Devin Haney would be.
How did you feel as Lomachenko's promoter and seeing the difference?
Now, let me just say this, you guys. Now, whether he would be a bigger fight in Australia with Kambosos than Devin Haney is irrelevant. Okay? It's relevant to them because they're trying to maximize their dollars. So when you hear Kambosos says, what fight makes sense? Like, if it makes sense, this is what we're going to do. If he's going to make more money fighting Lomachenko, unless something happens where maybe like he's talking about with COVID or something or whatever, okay, and the fight doesn't happen in Australia, okay, here's the deal. Lomachenko's no superstar in America. So if you're going to fight, he's no superstar, period. So if you're going to fight in America, well, Devin Haney can say the same shit. Well, who the fuck knows you over here, Kambosos? Lomachenko, you ain't no big star either over here in America. Only the really diehard fans know a lot of these guys. Overall, you guys seem to forget there's a lot more casuals now in boxing. Okay? And overall, regardless, we're overlooking the right thing to do to base everything on favoritism. So here's what I'm saying. I don't think a guy like Ryan Garcia, who walked away from his shot, look at what they're doing. They're crucifying Dylan White. Truthfully, because when he had the chance to fight AJ in the rematch, he said, these guys are playing, they're fucking playing games. They're not serious, right? And he chose to walk away. Look at what he's going through right now for walking away from a title fight that was offered to him. This dude, Ryan Garcia, mandatory challenger. He walks away. So I don't think he should be able to walk back in and just leapfrog into himself into a title fight, which basically he probably wouldn't anyway. He'd probably come back and cherry pick first, to make sure he's not rusty or whatever. But bottom line is, you walked away from your shot. You walked away. So don't come back and try to make it seem like, oh, Devin's ducking you now, right? This is what people do. Okay, now check this out. Teofimo Lopez, he went up in weight. Remember the handshake Bob Arum and his dad had, and they promised that they was going to fight Lomachenko the same way Teofimo shook Bill Haney's hand and promised that the next fight was going to be with Devin Haney. What did they say at the end of that fight? That he lost to Kambosos. I should have took him from 140 a long time ago. It's my fault. This is what he said. He been at 140 too long. Right? Okay. Then all of a sudden, Teofimo's talking shit about the other fighters. Oh, they fight at 135, draining themselves. If they really want that smoke, they're coming to 140. Oh, I get it. So if they don't come to 135, they're going to stay there to avoid you. Right, I get it. Yet you will all act the same fucking weight class. And nothing happened. So basically that meant when you said you should have been with the 140 and your father himself said, you know what, it's my fault. Because I already knew that we wasn't going to stay at 135. I should have been. Oh, so that means when you shook Bob Arum's hand about fighting Lomachenko next, you knew you was full of shit. That fight wasn't going to happen because you was going to 140. You already knew that. You already knew when you shook Bill Haney's hand and gave him your word that you and Haney would be next. You already knew you was going to 140. Remember, Devin Haney got so frustrated, he was like, man, I might just have to go to 140 because I can't, these guys don't want to fight me. So something got to happen. What the fuck? Remember that little sarcastic shit about, yeah, he want to go to 140 because he don't want to fight the best fighters. Everybody know the best fighters at 135. Okay, well, he stayed at 135. He's running you guys down and nothing is happening, right? Now, listen at what Bob Arum just said. He don't give a fuck about the best fighting the best. He cares about the biggest purse. Okay? He's a promoter. He's not a fighter. He's not the one that getting punched in his face and in his ribs and all that shit. He's not the one. So basically, his whole thing is the more money you making shit, then I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? That's how this goes. They're trying to get the best deals for their fighters. He's sitting here saying, look at how he treat Terrence Crawford, who was his fighter for so long, right? So he's letting you know, it's self-explanatory. Nobody knows Devin Haney in Australia. It's a bigger fight against Kambosos and Lomachenko. So he don't care about doing the right thing. He cares about how much money they're going to get. So here's the deal. For every fighter that's less known, when are you going to ever get your start? When are you ever going to get your shot? If everybody fucking ducks you and you have to just fight who's available. You understand? Does that make sense to you guys? How do you get your shot when everybody keep walking away? It's like graduating from college or graduating from a business school or something, right? Some kind of trade or whatever. And then everybody's saying, oh, but we need hands-on. Well, when the fuck am I going to get my hands on? Until somebody hire me, shit. I went to school for it. That's the same frustration you'd feel. Okay? I'm here. I'm willing to fight, but these guys don't want to fight. So, like I said in the last video, they don't want high risk, low reward. I don't blame these fighters for wanting their money. The thing what I'm saying is, it's not just the fighters. Why are we not looking, understanding these promoters? These guys are the ones, okay, who's advising them that, hey, look, man, we trying to get as much money as we can. And I think you should go with this fight. This is what they do. You don't think they tell them, man, look at your future. Think of your family. Think of retirement. I can promote fighters far longer than you can fight. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to maximize your money. Now, one of you sitting here watching this video right now, I don't care what the fuck you type and say. If it was me, I would know. Now, one of you motherfuckers are in that position. If you was in a position and somebody say, yo, $5 million, man, you fight him, you only gonna get 8. No, I'm all about my integrity too. Yeah, no, man, fuck that 35. You know, if I get 8, I'm still a millionaire. Yeah, I know, bullshit. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, y'all get it? You know how much money you'd be leaving behind? It's easy to say that shit when you're not the one in those shoes. So all this shit, here's the thing about what Bob Arum just said. If we're going to sit here and support these fighters, like we're going to applaud this shit, what's the purpose of having a ranking system? What's the purpose of having a fucking title? Work your ass off. Bust your ass to get to where you are. Just to have people leapfrog over you. Have bullshit titles made just so they can leapfrog over you. These belts have no prestige and they mean nothing. That's why you have 1,000 fucking belts floating around. And you could watch any random fight and some motherfucker stand there with a belt on his shoulder or around his waist. And you're like, who the fuck is this? You don't even know who this motherfucker is, but he's a champion. He has a title. Everybody that has a title is not an A-class fighter either. So you can be handpicked. You can be strung along and guided to where you're undefeated. Listen to what I'm saying. You're undefeated. And because you're undefeated and you have a title, right? You feeling like, yo, why ain't nobody paying no attention to me? I'm out here winning fights. I'm gunning. And people are going, wait a minute though. Look at this motherfucker over here. He ain't got no belt, but everybody know who he is. You understand what I'm saying to you? If you're dangerous, that motherfucker's going to stay away from you. You understand what I'm saying to you? So now what's going to end up happening? You're going to take a bunch of junk fights because why? You can't get the fights you want. And then you're in a position of, why should I have to relinquish my title just to go to a different division when this is don't I have the right to fight at this division? See, it's give or take in boxing. Just like in life. That's why you got to take control of what you do. That's why when Floyd Mayweather decided, you know what? You don't think that shit make him bitter? I took shitty deals. I did what I had to do to get myself into the A-side position. People tried to use me, tried to abuse me, tried to fucking shortchange me. But then when I learned the business and understood what I needed to do, got the right team of people around me, I said, fuck all of y'all. Because basically all y'all was doing was leeching off of me. And then when I realized and understood what I had to do and I accomplished that, the hatred started. And all this he's always talking about money. He was throwing that shit in their faces too. Yeah, motherfucker, this is what you try. You didn't want me to get to this point. There was other fighters that you tried to fucking push over me. And see, people think like this, okay? Think like this. If you work somewhere and you have the employees, you guys are all cool. You might even been friends with people before you got to that job. Y'all know each other. You might even got the person the job, right? However, they might have got you the job. But bottom line, you're all in the same position. You become a supervisor or a manager or whatever, right? Now, all of a sudden, people who was used to sitting next to you are taking orders from you. Now, you don't have to be an asshole about it. You don't have to be an asshole to do your job, but a lot of people think like that. I've heard people say, if everybody likes you, that means you ain't doing your job. So anyway, now what happens is people start looking at you differently. Even after they done celebrated, pop bottles with you and big up you and congratulated you on the position, but they like, this motherfucker gonna change. I already know. The motherfucker gonna start acting just like them, right? So now they automatically looking at you funny. They're not around you like they used to be. Your duties change. Your responsibilities change. So now they're expecting you to do something that either is in you or not in you, right? But you have a different role and a different position. So you can't do the things that you used to do. Now more eyes are on you as well. So now you get to see what that position holds from a whole different perspective now. That doesn't mean you have to become an asshole. So if before you got your position, right, the person that had it before you was an asshole and you and the fellow sit there like, I can't stand this motherfucker or whatever, right? Imagine now, you want to get that position and act just like them. A lot of people do. But the unique ones are the ones who understand. Nah, I'm here to do the job, not kiss your ass. And I'm a person who turned the fucking supervisor position down 4 times before I finally took it. And I took it when that little regime was gone. That way, when I got in there, it was like, okay, now I know exactly how things go and what I'm supposed to do. And basically, I didn't trust what they wanted from me, from their own words. So I know I did the right thing. But you think people wasn't going, shit, I'd have took that position. I don't know why Aries turned it down. You not me. That's why you did it. Because I do have integrity. I do have honor and respect. So when these fighters get in a position, we're dealing with a bunch of cutthroat rich motherfuckers who's sitting up there, like I said, not taking the punishment, but you are. Yeah, that shit will have you act different towards people, you will start to see shit in a different way. Because now these motherfuckers are trying to give you their ass to kiss, and they want to see you fall. So every time you see Floyd Mayweather come out, you know, I made smart investments, I did what I had to do, you know what I'm saying? And my whole career, you know what I'm saying? Like I took a small amount of money, like he the A side, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all can laugh at him and talk all this shit and make, but you know what? That motherfucker mastered the business, understood what he had to do. And if y'all don't think that pissed these motherfucking promoters and different people off, you lying to yourself. Because that's exactly it. You hate Floyd because he's always talking about money. So fucking what? Then you shouldn't like not one rap song that come out nowadays. Because all these motherfuckers talk about is money, money, money. I got bitches and money. I got this and this. I got 10 Ferraris. I got a fucking man. That's all the fuck they talking about. You don't see them talking about doing things in the community and helping people. All they talk about is money. That's just a bullshit excuse for people to just, and a lot of it too is because here was this young black dude who came up and did something that nobody expected to do. This was unprecedented. He did it. Pause. He did what he had to do. And you had black people as well that was going, all this motherfucker talk about his money, man. This motherfucker, he don't be talking about, helping black people, and he don't be talking about helping. Okay, so wait. You're not talking about him helping people in general. You're talking about him helping black people. See, my take is, to be honest with you, yeah, you rich. You can do things, and it is things that he did and still do that people don't talk about. Which one of these fighters died? He paid for their funeral and the whole shit. It was a Spanish guy. I don't remember who it was. But whoever it was it Diego Corrales? I'm not sure. But no, it's many things that he's done. And like I said, and still do. They don't publicize that. He doesn't care about publicizing it. And then even to talk about the money and all that, he might buy a new car right now. Do a video where they're in his house showing it. And you know what happened? All the same people that criticize his lifestyle is sitting there tuning in to watch just to have something to complain about. So why are you even tuning in to watch him? You understand what I'm saying to you? Everything is money driven. You got people out here right now will tell you, oh yeah, man, I went and got my degree and I did this and I did that. And they got a fucking dashboard full of fucking lottery tickets. So it's not like because they got a better job now that they don't want more money. All of this talk and what you heard come out of Bob Arum's mouth just now. All of this talk about the best fighting the best and all that. I keep hearing people crying about that shit. And what I've been saying for the longest, if you guys been paying attention, this is not about the best fighting the best. Because these guys are seeing millions of dollars before they even take a really risky fight. So they understand they don't really have to. They are in a position where I could just keep fighting fucking meatballs, man. Because I guarantee you, for a guy that's making just say $2 million a fight, and he go to North Carolina or somewhere, get a mansion that he didn't really pay much for, right? But his house big as hell. Guess what? He living a good life already. So there's no rush for him. Then he also has an ego to feel like, motherfucker, I'm a champ too. Everybody must sweating you. I ain't sweating you. You know what I'm saying? I'm a champ too. It ain't like I need you. You need me as much as I need you. And then you have this, well, I'm over here doing my thing. He over there doing his thing. Yes, fighters are avoiding fighting other top fighters. That's what you see happening. So it doesn't mean nothing because you have a belt anymore. It doesn't mean nothing. Daniel Dubois has a belt. Who's talking about Daniel Dubois? Trevor Bryant, he has a belt. Who's talking about Trevor Bryant? So all of this, I have a belt. And understand something. The only belts that matter in boxing are any one of the 4 belts, not that franchise crap, that will make you undisputed. If you have any belt outside of that, that belt means nothing. And that's a fact. Dillian White's the diamond champion. Who the fuck is talking about his diamond belt? You understand what I'm saying? It means nothing. So do you not understand why these fighters get to the point where they get in a position to where they can make more money? They're like, nah, I'm going to go that route. because you fighting for bullshit money, but you got people like, yo, this dude, he nice. Or better yet, he ain't fought nobody though. So it's like you deal with all of these emotions and different shit. I'm telling you guys right now, if Kambosos, if in his heart it's about, yo, the best fighting the best, yo, I want to fight the top fighters, and I want to do what's right, he needs to fight Devin Haney first. Like I said, Ryan Garcia shouldn't be able to leapfrog over nobody. You walked away from your spot. You got to come back and earn it, not just come back and walk into it. Rolly Romero walked away from his spot. He shouldn't just be able to walk back into it. No, you blew that shit, man. You walked away. Like somebody said, okay, well, we're gonna honor the fact he had a court. No, you walked away you walked away from that shot. Yet everybody's telling Dylan he should just take the $5 million. But yet it's excuses for these guys. You see, so basically, because all the Tyson Fury fans, oh man, he should just take it. But it's okay for Raleigh and Ryan to give you all these bullshit cry speeches about you're going through shit and they're supposed to just walk back into their position. No, you blew that, bro. You walked away from that. Okay. Along with that, if you really understand, for every time a fight happens and you see somebody get brutally knocked out and somebody go, damn, who was that got knocked out? Who's the one that knocked him out? Oh, never heard of him. These guys going up the ranks, they're going to have losses because they're fighting the best fighters. They're fighting the tough fights that the champions don't want to fight. And if you sitting up here going, oh man, he got to prove himself, right? Okay. I got a video coming out real quick, man. I'm going to show y'all. I got something for y'all. And it's basically around that same subject matter. And trust me, you're going to see, it's going to be crystallized. Everything I've been saying. I don't think nothing I'm saying is complicated. And I'm pretty sure y'all are intelligent enough to understand that. But I want you guys to hear something coming from the mouth of an elite fighter. And you're going to see he's basically letting you know this fighter is in the same position I was in. So I understand it. So you're going to see. I got something for you guys. But again, what does all these belts mean? What does it means nothing. What does the ranking system mean? It means nothing. It means nothing. And then on top of this, even for people to like have a Ring Magazine invisible belt, to have a lineal invisible, all this stuff, and they're talking about it like it's bigger than having the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, the WBO. Then again, why even try? Why even have a career in boxing if it's all about popularity? It's almost like winning the lottery. Just keep playing. Maybe you'll get lucky. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.